Give me my theme music. Buff Nation, welcome into the show and Buffs News Weekly Live. Of course, we are coming to you just randomly, and because, well, the last 48 hours or so have been a little ridiculous and crazy if you are a Buffs fan. Now, while the Buffs are preparing for their big game against Utah this weekend, Buffs fans everywhere were treated to some tantalizing and sensational news throughout the last 48 hours or so. And boy, oh boy, do we have some fun things to look at. I wanted to come to you live before we hit our live stream tonight for the Buff Blitz at 7 p.m. with David Talks Buffs. So make sure you guys join us tonight. We'll discuss more about the recruiting together, but then we're also going to preview the Utah game, which has also gotten a lot more interesting in the last 48 hours or so. Guys, this is just, it is absolutely unbelievable what is happening right now, guys. We are taking over the college football world, okay? For those of you that already see the title, right now, Colorado is looking at potentially flipping/recruiting 3 of IMG's best players. And we got some shocking news today when it comes to those. But before we get there, make sure that if you're watching this right now live, hit that like button. If you are not watching this live and watch it later, still hit that like, comment, let me know what you think. Make sure you guys are subscribed as we dive in to this wonderful recruiting news and wonderful week to be a Buffs fan. So make sure you guys do that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Before we get started, okay, let's first go with the big update. Of course, we are talking about the Julian Lewis news, okay? And I want to come to you guys first and foremost to talk about the news and say that there is nothing to worry about, okay? There is nothing to worry about when it comes to the Julian Lewis update. Of course, this week, Julian Lewis has been crystal balled not once, not twice, not even 3 times, but 4 different crystal balls have put him to Colorado. Now, I would like to take you back to the Jordan Seaton recruitment last year and what happened with Jordan Seaton. Now, if you guys remember, his commitment leaked about a week early, where there was a crystal ball given to Colorado. And once that happened, things started to kind of unwind, okay? And by that, I mean, it seemed like Jordan Seaton pulled back. He declined and said that wasn't real. He took Colorado out of his top 6. He went on a visit to Maryland at the last moment. All of these things happened in the Jordan Seaton sweepstakes leading up to his appearance on First Take, where he announced officially nationally that he was going to be taking his talents to Colorado. Now, if we take a look at the Jordan Seaton recruitment and the timeline that occurred with that, I believe that we are witnessing the exact same thing with Julian Lewis. Colorado and Julian Lewis both want this moment to be a big occasion, okay? They want to take the spotlight when it comes to Julian Lewis. So because of that, I believe these crystal balls have kind of killed that momentum in its tracks and killed the ability to kind of be the big attention grabber and the shocking information, similar to Travis Hunter's commitment to Coach Prime when there was no inkling that he was going to Coach Prime, and then that happened. That was massive national news when it occurred. So Coach Prime, recruiting staff, Julian Lewis, they want this to be national headline news. So of course, now, Julian Lewis was announced that he is going to be visiting unofficially Georgia this weekend. Now, what I really love about this announcement and about this news that came out, of course, is USC fans pointing and saying, oh, look, the circus. Oh, look, we don't want him anyway. Whatever they want to talk about, okay? But I'm here for you Buffs fans out there. The one thing you cannot do is say, oh, I don't want this kid anymore. He is, being a distraction. He can't make up his mind. Don't fall in to that rhetoric, okay? Because we need to learn more than anything else that Coach Prime and his team have a very specific way of doing things. And that means that they want to do things on their own terms, and they don't like the national media or even honestly smaller media outlets determining and announcing that it is official and it's happening. Okay. So relax, take a deep breath out there. Everything is going to be okay. Okay. I know for a fact we are going to be seeing this coming out soon. We're going to be finding out more about Julian Lewis. We've just got to be patient when it comes to those announcements. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and move away from that for a moment here and look to the other news that's going on. And let's pay attention to that and look at this door over here rather than pay attention to the Julian Lewis door over here. Brady B, I don't think he goes to Georgia, but thinking he's only visiting for dramatic effect is crazy. Brady, listen, he lives in Georgia. He lives there. Okay. It's Georgia, Tennessee this weekend. It's one of the biggest games of the weekend. Even Georgia fans are saying that he's just coming to get a ticket to the game, have some fun, enjoy the weekend, but they know he is not coming to Georgia. Okay. So again, I don't think it's so much dramatic effect as it is just a non-story altogether. Okay. I don't think they want it to be fully out there. I don't think they want it to be all about Colorado. Let's just move away from it for a moment and get our minds off of Julian Lewis before he makes his commitment. See you try to capitalize on this momentum. 100%. I'm with you. I get it, but I don't think it's nothing. We can agree to disagree, but let's move on to what's happening and why I, again, think that it is showing signs that Julian Lewis is coming to Colorado. Because since the announcements and the crystal balls for Julian Lewis, the rest of the recruitingness has just gone crazy. Guys. And that tells me that something is up. The recruits know what is happening in Boulder, not just from on the field that we can all see, but behind the scenes in the recruits, because we all know that there is such a thing as silent commits, and those silent commits can talk to other commits and they can bring them in, and that can make other players want to come. Now, today has been a day of revelation. Let's go ahead and talk about the big news. The first bit of news that occurred today out of nowhere, mind you, okay? We're still 3 days away from Saturday and Saturday's game against Utah. And what do we find out? Well, Adam Munstertiger from 24/7 and, of course, the Colorado beat writer here in Boulder just put out an article, which I was going to talk about anyway because I found out about this information separately. But we have some action because Colorado has 2 surprise visitors on campus today. That's right. 2 players that visited Boulder in recent weeks are back on campus out of nowhere today. Trust me, On3 is scrambling and upset that they don't have this exclusive because this is massive news, ladies and gentlemen, okay? The 2 players that are on campus right this moment are both IMG players, and that is London Merritt which I'll pull up his recruiting profile, the 4-star edge player from IMG Academy, who has been to Colorado, has been leaning Colorado's way. And if I were a betting man, I would say that he is going to be a buff. Now, the other person that's visiting with London again for the second time in a couple weeks is Nathaniel Owosu Boateng, who many have said this week is going to be going to Michigan. They have said he is a lock to end up at Michigan. You can see there are crystal balls right here for Michigan, and it looked like Colorado didn't have a chance. Looked like he just came to come with London Merit to have a good time. However, he is back in Boulder as we speak right now, okay? He is back in Boulder as we speak right now, and that is some big news, guys. For them to come back a week and a half after they came to visit, or 2 weeks after they came to visit, again, especially with the Julian Lewis news this week, there is something going on. I don't believe in coincidences, ladies and gentlemen. I do not. I believe that things happen for a reason. Northside, you're absolutely right. Duke is probably going to be one of the biggest assets that Colorado gets. I absolutely love the things he does. I love the way that he talks about this program and how he has been behind the Buffs all the way since the beginning. And again, I think On3 was stupid to let him go, but guess what? Their loss is our gain, okay? I have reached out to him to see if he wants to do a show, an interview. So if you guys see him on social media, feel free to throw that out there. Say you would love to see him on the show, to get him to come on. We'll see if we can do that here in the next few weeks. But Boateng and Merritt are both here this weekend, okay? This weekend. So outside of these two, the other big news that just broke within the last hour, and part of the reason that I wanted to come on here live with you guys is because not only are these two IMG guys coming, okay, but also the number one inside offensive lineman in Michael Carroll will be on campus this weekend for an official visit to Colorado. Mic drop, boom, as everybody would say. This is massive news, guys. I know if you saw earlier today, Cash Cleveland was able to be interviewed during the media scrum this week, and he even talked about his recruitment. He said it was the best decision he ever made. He didn't have any offers, but Colorado took a chance. And now Cash Cleveland is seemingly the starting center for the Buffaloes as a walk-on freshman. So what did he say? He said, I am working on recruiting my IMG fellas to come here and help us build this offensive line together. So Michael Carroll then all of a sudden gets announced that he is officially visiting Boulder and will be there this weekend, along with his IMG teammates, London Merritt and Boateng, both coming on campus right now, with Michael Carroll joining them this weekend for the game against Utah. Absolutely massive bit of information breaking today in regards to Colorado's recruiting and recruiting class. Now, I wanted to show you a couple other things. The other thing that I've heard from, and we've seen if you go, but of course, Matt McChesney, who runs his own podcast, ex-Buff, offensive line coach in Colorado, has also mentioned that Breck Kolajay, one of the top offensive linemen from the state of Colorado, who's also an IMG person, is being heavily courted by Colorado now. Colorado is putting the full press on him. They have talked to him every single day. They went from just reaching out to him every now and then to now the Coach Lodeholt, and the team have been talking with him on a daily basis, trying to get him to come to Colorado. So it's not just Carroll. It's not just Merritt. It's not just Boateng. They are going heavy on the IMG players and anybody that also has a connection to Colorado. We are once again recruiting in our backyard in the state of Colorado and not going to let the top recruits leave this state, especially when it comes to the offensive linemen. For those of you out here that are not very well versed in the history of Colorado, the big thing that comes out of the state of Colorado is offensive linemen regularly. I'm not saying we don't ever do anything else, but regularly our biggest export when it comes to college football is offensive linemen. And we are finally dipping our toes into that now with this recruiting cycle. So it's just continuing. We also had the other brought up here, TK, absolutely. We also have another person coming to visit this weekend, and it looks like, from everything I have heard, is that McPherson is already a silent commit even before stepping on foot on campus. Okay, so another player to look out for is McPherson. Let me bring up his profile here. Yep, hold on. Oh, D lineman. What's his first name, TK? I can't remember. Alex McPherson. Alex McPherson. Current commit to Oklahoma State. And he will be in Colorado this weekend, and he has just really exploded. But guess where Alexander McPherson calls home, everybody, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see it again. Oh, that's right. IMG. The IMG pipeline is here. Okay. Coach Prime is going heavy on the IMG players. And honestly, after seeing the way that Jordan Seaton has transitioned into college football, I can see why. Now, yesterday at a press conference, Coach Prime discussed his tactics for recruiting, said exactly what I've been saying, what a lot of people have been saying out there, which is Coach Prime is not going to go crazy when it comes to high school recruits. The players that he brings in will be day one effective players. They are not coming here to sit. They are coming here to be playmakers and be a part of this team. Because as he so lovingly pointed out, if you bring in 25, 30 kids and say maybe 5 to 10 of them play, the rest, maybe 20 of them redshirt, what happens after the redshirt season if things aren't going great? They hit the transfer portal and you just wasted a year of 20 to 25 perfectly good scholarships that could have been used on better playmakers that could be effective, such as transfer portal players. Now, when it comes to our actual high school recruiting, though, when we've got right here, Alexander McPherson, another defensive lineman from IMG, 6'5.5". 240 pounds. You can't tell me that that guy isn't ready to come in and perform for Colorado next season. Okay. Carroll said he'd like the development of Jordan Seaton. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing Jordan Seaton just absolutely grow and blossom before our eyes. Can you guys imagine a defense or offensive line with Jordan Seaton at left tackle, Carroll at left guard? Okay. That right there, that left side of Colorado's offensive line is going to be dominant for years to come. Okay, dominant. This is us changing the narrative overnight from having a terrible offensive line last year to now having a good offensive line this year to potentially having a great offensive line in the future. And if I'm Julian Lewis and I'm seeing what's right now taking place at Colorado, I feel pretty good about the thought of playing behind this new offensive line for Colorado for the number of years, for the next 3-4 years of his college career. Another advantage is the players play together, which will make it easier. Yep, 100%. They know each other. They've already been prepping like they've been playing in college. They're going to come in, work extremely hard. They know what they get with these IMG players. And honestly, it's an absolutely perfect thing. On 3, got him as a 4-star. Now, who do they have as a 4-star? Is it McPherson or is it somebody else? Let me know, Torlin. Thank you for the comment. All that talent is going to raise CU recruiting rankings. Thank you for saying that, because guess what I did? I went ahead and did the calculations, guys. Let's take a look at what is going on right now. Okay, I have got the calculator going, everybody, and I have started to add some recruits here. Now, I forgot to add Alexander McPherson, so I'm going to go ahead and add him. We're going to see just how good we can get. Okay, let's say we also get Breck. Okay, let's see if it'll pull up Colo J. Colo. Oh yeah, he's 2026, I think. Okay, never mind. Alexander McPherson. Let's see. The kicker. We got to talk about the kicker. That's another big one that we could be getting, which is one of Colorado's best kickers. But let's add McPherson, and I want to show you guys. Okay, so look at this. If we were to get everybody that we're talking about right now, I don't think we will. So we'll work our way backwards. Okay. So we're looking at this. If we get everybody, if we get Michael Carroll, who would be our number one, Julian Lewis would be our number two, Boateng, Merritt, Cardi Smith, we're forgetting about him, who is also crystal balled this week to Colorado, Adrian Wilson, Alex Graham, Quinnell Farrakhan, Chauncey Gooden, Christian Hudson, Antonio Branch, Mantrez Walker, Alexander McPherson, Quentin Gibson, who is looking more and more like he might be coming, but that also could be one that I think goes a different way. Zane D'Souza, Corbin Leisure, and Jay Gardenhire. Any thoughts as to where we might end up in the rankings if this is our class for the 2025 commit season? Anybody? Appreciate you, Ron. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Let's take a look at what these grades might be. So that puts us at a 238.94, which if I go over here, 238, and I actually pull up, so 238, here we go. That would put us right here at number 17 in the country for recruits, not including, of course, the transfer portal, which Prime will heavily be into. I guarantee by the end of the whole process in the combined standings will be number one, but that would put us at number 17. Now I want to look at something real quick. Let's look at... Oh, can I look at... Oh, yeah, there it is. Big 12. Let's look at the Big 12 rankings. The highest Big 12 ranking right now is TCU at 224. So if we get a 238.94, we would be the top Big 12 team by a massive amount. We would be the best team in the Big 12 as far as recruiting goes. And I've said it numerous times over the last few shows. Colorado is set to dominate the Big 12. We are going to be in the spotlight and the conference championship each and every year if things play out the way that they are trending. Okay, so that is something that should be a very important thing to look at. Northside, I agree. We might be going and hiring more IMG staff or doing something with IMG because that pipeline is open. Okay, it is open. I did see this comment, Jay Gardner. I don't think he is. Listen why. Okay, he is a project. He knew it. The team knew it. Okay, Gardenhire is not seeing this as I'm going to not commit because I'm not going to see playing time. Let's be honest. If you really look into it, he's probably not going to get that many big Power 4 offers. And he has been challenged by the staff to get in better shape, to lose weight, to get stronger. And guess what? He has done exactly that, guys. And that is the type of player you want to bring in. Just remember, did we ever expect Cash Cleveland to be a contributor to this team day one or year one as a walk-on? No, but the kid came in, worked hard, watched film, did everything right, and look at what he's doing. Those are the type of players that we are going to be wanting, that Coach Prime is going to be looking for. It's not always about the stars next to the name, but it's about who the player is and how they can fit in here at Colorado. TK way above top 50, that's for sure. Jump of 78. Yep. He had development piece. Jordan Seaton is the glue for Owosu and the other IMG players. 100%. He is the example. And when he looked into that camera on ESPN and he said, if you're a dog, why don't you come to Colorado? That was the beginning. That was the beginning of his ability to bring more players in, and he is going to be recognized as one of the biggest shapers and movers that Colorado has ever seen, mark my words. And as we talked about last Sunday, I believe, when we were talking about Julian Lewis, I believe that Jordan Seaton sat down at dinner with Julian Lewis to kind of map out and talk about what was going to happen here at Colorado all the way back in January. And that has just started to build and build and build as all of the things that not only he has said, but I'm sure Coach Prime has said to all these recruits are starting to happen. The momentum is picking up. And as my favorite movie would said, the fire is rising. The fire is rising in Boulder right now, and we are about to witness something absolutely amazing, okay? We are about to witness. We're going to live in the CFP. That's what I'm saying. We've got an easy path to the CFP every single year. You can't tell me that a recruit won't see this as a potential to dominate, come over here, build a powerhouse to where you've only got to win against those top quote-unquote blue bloods 1 or 2 times a year, and those are playoff games. I'll take that. Not to mention the spotlight that I'm going to get here at Colorado. Do you think Juju is ready to start day one, or do you think we go get someone in the portal? I've talked about this. I think that he has the ability to start, okay? I think that what Coach Prime has told him is, hey, you come here and do what I know you can do, you'll be our starter. But you got to come and you got to perform. We know for a fact that Coach Prime is not above benching or not playing one of these 5-star players. Just go back and look at Cormani McLean. He wasn't doing what he needed to do. He wasn't getting looks. He wasn't playing. But then you look at this year and Jordan Seaton, you can't tell me that Jordan Seaton didn't come in ready to go, worked hard, said all the things right, was the right culture fit, and now he is a starter looking at an All-American season. CU does need more centers. Hey, we need more offensive linemen, period. We can never have enough offensive linemen. Cash Cleveland is the starter moving forward. Yep, Cash Cleveland 100%, I believe, is the starter moving forward. Today, Coach Prime called up the starting offensive line to speak to the team at practice, and guess who was the center when they walked up? That's right. 5-star kicker would be great. I would love to have a kicker. Can you imagine having somebody that can kick it 50-plus yards? Can you imagine not having to rely on our team to drive 90 yards down the field to win or tie a game? I just want to have a kicker with a big leg that gives us that extra little boost of potential point scoring that we haven't had. No offense. Love Mata. He is a solid kicker who can kick wonderfully from 40 yards and in. But outside of 40 yards, we're not going to get that same opportunity. He will redshirt. Who are we talking about? Julian Lewis, really? Okay, you think it'll redshirt. Jordan Seaton's freshman success is going to entice other top players in the 25 class. 100%. He is the blueprint for what is happening at Colorado. Them players have to be here in February. The good news is a majority of them will. The biggest one, of course, Julian Lewis, he has confirmed that he will be an early enrollee wherever he goes. So that is already massive right there, because no way can a quarterback start without being there in spring. That is way too far behind the 8 ball in order to actually become that starter. CU needs a kicker that can boot the ball in the end zone. Mata's leg isn't it. Well, Mata wasn't ever supposed to be the kickoff specialist. Obviously, we've run into some issues there. We need somebody who has a big leg. That is going to be very important. Wonder what will happen with Kirkland and Owens, who came this spring. Hey, I think they're going to still compete. I think they're going to be a big part of this team going forward. So could they hit the transfer portal? Absolutely. Anybody can. Okay. We could see anybody from this team do that. But I believe that they came here knowing that they are going to be depth with the potential to start in the future. There's going to be spots on this line open and up for grabs. The fight is going to be on. Now, if you want to fight it out and work your butt off here at Colorado and be able to play, then stay. If you don't want to do that, jump in the transfer portal, go somewhere else. That's not what we are going to want here. I think Prime likes IMG players because it's a fast track of homesickness. Northside It is everything that you want out of a college player. Okay. They're already away from home. So being away from home is not a big deal. It doesn't matter. They know how to function away from home. Two, they are in programs that treat it like college, not only academically and off the field, but obviously on the field and in the weight room. Because of that, you are going to get players who are going to be developmentally further along than other players at different programs. It's unfortunate, but there's a lot of high schools out there that just can't do the strength and conditioning that a college does or that an IMG does, because everything is catered around that sport rather than it being a high school that happens to have a sport like football in it. So 100%, that is a major, massive reason that IMG is going to be the pipeline of the future for Colorado. I'm shocked that no other team has not just camped out there and just taken every player they can, but the connections run deep with Colorado. The connections run deep with Coach Prime, and it is working, guys. It is working, and we are about to see it absolutely blow up. You know, when the next NCAA football video game comes out, they need to have a pipeline that's not a state. No. It needs to be an IMG pipeline in the game, because this is about to feed this team for years to come. Jace Feely thought he was a linebacker into this season. Watch other top programs follow this blueprint and take less recruits in the cycle moving forward. The more and more that this becomes successful, whether it's Indiana, whether it's us, more teams are going to follow. They're going to realize. I mean, it's honestly why Nick Saban left Alabama. He didn't like the direction that college football was going. I don't think that he saw it as a benefit to himself. He was a really good high school recruiter. Whether or not he was a really good transfer portal recruiter, who knows? But the biggest problem is that when you get that depth and you get that massive room of depth that the Blue Bloods were getting year in and year out, now those players can say, hey, I'm not playing yet. I'm going to jump in the portal. I'm going to go somewhere where I can play right away and show that I should be a starter. Even though the guy in front of me might be as good, if not a little bit better than me, I'm going to jump and go play somewhere else. He was a linebacker, the original kicker. Oh, man, you guys are funny. He came from the loins of an NFL kicker. And Alex Graham was at IMG before going back home. Yep. We have all sorts of IMG connections across the board, and I wouldn't be surprised if even more IMG players are on the way, whether that is a similar path that Cash Cleveland took. Remember, we had no idea. He just showed up. He just said, okay, I'm coming to Colorado as a walk-on. I could see other walk-ons from IMG. I would see Colorado prioritize IMG preferred walk-ons, because while they may not have the stars next to their name, they do have the pedigree to go through the IMG program and be successful. I could see that being a really, really good path for Colorado to take. Northside, I'm standing on business for Preston Carey. Okay. Let's take a look at Preston Carey. Oh, another IMG. That's right. Holy crud. This dude is a man. That guy is scary looking. 2026 class, 3-star currently, composite 4-star, 6'4.5", 285. Out of IMG. Yeah, that seems like honestly a really, really good potential for next season. And yep, sure enough, Colorado is on his list. I think that is a high likelihood. Wonder if Hank will get cold feet and hit the portal. I could see that, guys. I really could. I think that, again, there are going to be players that are going to hit the portal, guys. There probably will be a surprise or two that hit the portal, just like there were last year. None of us thought that Dylan Edwards was going to hit the portal, and yet there he was. I could easily see a receiver hit the portal. Now, I don't think that's going to be Omarion, but I could see maybe Terrell Timmons hits the portal. He hasn't been used very often this year. He's obviously been injured a lot, but I wouldn't blame him for hitting the portal and trying to go elsewhere with this massively deep wide receiver room that we have currently and going forward. Who knows? Because we are going to be bringing in a portal receiver or two to be effective next year. Now, that doesn't mean that our freshman recruits, all the receivers we're bringing in, won't have a part in the system. They will. Don't forget Cam Michael, also injured this season, red shirting, not playing. He's going to be a big aspect of this team going forward. So we've got a lot of stuff. Omarion Cooper, punch in the air, leaving CU for FSU. Hey, maybe Omarion Cooper was the problem. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to say that about a player. It's just sad that he went from Colorado to FSU and from that to that. And yeah, just not a good thing over there. Oh my gosh. I can't get over someone saying that Cash looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy. I don't want to laugh at that. But honestly, that's gosh, now I'm going to see that too. Thank you, Brady. Thank you for putting that out there for all of our minds. I'm sure Cash would love a nickname having to do with that. But yeah. So that is what I wanted to come on here and chat about. We wanted to talk recruiting. We wanted to talk about something exciting. Hey, let's have some fun, Buffs fans. Let's have some fun, Buffs Nation. Okay, I get it. The team is prepping for Utah. They're focused on that game. Guess what? We don't have to be focused on. We are not playing that game. We get to enjoy what is happening both on the field and off the field. And these are some important things. Cooper left FSU and then they went 13-0. Then he went back to FSU. The roles reversed. Living the RV life. Buffs are set at running back with Farrakhan. I don't know if Quinnell's playing running back, but we are set at running back because Augustov has eligibility. Hayden has eligibility. Don't forget Michael Welsh also in there. We've got plenty of depth at running back. That's why you're not seeing us recruit running backs. But Farrakhan is a good wide receiver. Okay, guys. Him and Adrian Wilson are both right there right now competing in the state of Texas. They are going to be a big part of next year. This is another question I had as well, TK. I wonder if Juju brings Jerome Miles. That or his cornerback buddy Arnaud from USC that committed around the same time or more recently committed to USC. I could see that being a thing, maybe one or two. But we're getting to that max that Coach Prime wants. If we go back to my rankings here, let me see how many we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 17 right now. I don't think that we're going to add many more. USC fans have even said that he's going to follow. I mean, that very well could happen. It really, really could. We definitely need a running back. Maybe, but I loved what I saw from Michael Welsh. I love what I see from Augustov. Hayden can be serviceable. I think we're not going to have to prioritize it as much. That's what I think. I think if we do get a running back, it's going to be more so for depth. Running back also a hard sell for us recruiting right now. Yeah, we have a pretty young running back room. We need a breakaway back, but I love Micah. Hey, there's a player that you guys should pay attention to. That would be Quentin Gibson. He could be a guy that we could use as a player in the backfield as well as receiver. Short, small, shifty, 5'8", 165, extremely fast. And yeah, that's the big one. I keep forgetting about him. Brandon Hood is our breakaway back, guys. Are we forgetting Brandon Hood? I forgot him. So yeah, our running back room is stacked depth-wise for quite a long time. Okay, so I totally forgot about Brandon Hood. He's going to be, trust me, guys, if you go watch this guy play, he is going to be a big part of this team going forward. So don't ignore that. Okay. Next year, they will run the football more. Shador's air raid is for the season. I agree with that. I do believe that. Once Juju commits, O-line Michael Carroll is a lock to commit to CU. Here's the thing, the basement. I think Juju already did commit. I think he's a silent commit right now. I truly do believe that. I believe that deep in my loins that Juju committed at the Cincinnati game. That's just my thoughts. I don't have any information. I'm not putting that out there as a rumor. That is just literally what I feel in my bones. And that is why I believe The Michael Carroll is coming this weekend because of that. So your comment is right, except the if part or the once. That's what I think. TK, Dallin Hayden can leave. B Hood is going to be a problem. Hood will be ready next year. I do believe that. I thought he was going to be ready this year. Quentin Gibson from my hometown. He's a box office. Good job, Replica. Oh, yeah, I have seen him. Let's play him. If Isaiah put in work, add 7 pounds muscle, yeah. Juju been a silent commit for months. Yep. Juju and Carde are coming. Agreed. Like I said, talking about that recruiting rankings that could be, I included Carde. I included Julian. I now included the 2 guys today. If you add Michael Carroll, we're going to be in the top 20 guys in high school recruiting with only 17 recruits. Okay. That is some big opportunity here, guys. That is a really big deal for Colorado. So, let's get excited, guys. We're gonna kind of end this off. I'm gonna read your comments here. If you really want me to read a comment or get to you, make sure you guys throw in those super chats for coffee. That's always appreciated. I agree. I think Juju is just visiting UGA to support his teammates who are on official visits. Yep, I think Juju and TC know that UGA are not the best at developing quarterbacks. I just know that that's not where he wants to go. And UGA fans know that. Like, I love the fact that they're doing that, not trolling us, not doing any of that. They realize exactly what's going on. Now, USC fans, on the other hand, are coping extra hard right now when it comes to Julian Lewis, and I absolutely love it. All 17 would play next year. I think a big chunk of them would. I don't know if all 17. Look at what happened this year. I think there'll be a couple surprise red shirts just because of maybe some banged up injuries or maybe some slow development. But I do think a majority of those players would play. I agree. What is really missing from this team? Oh, what is really missing? I think some consistency on the offensive line, which is why I'm really excited about the recruits we're looking at. I still think we're good. We're much better on the offensive line than we've ever been. I think we can be even better. That's probably the biggest thing that I think is we can always improve on the offensive line. And then, I'd like to see where we end up in the safety position moving forward with Cam Silman, Craig leaving. Shiloh not having a great season, but also leaving. I'll be very interested to see what happens at safety moving forward, as that's a real position that's going to be watched here in the upcoming years. Houston, just a sophomore. Once he gained weight, he's going to be more of a problem. We do have young guys on the line. That's not you're not wrong. Juju could be going to UGA game to see if any UGA commits. I saw somebody else say that. I don't think UGA would let him come in and talk to those. If he does, he's going to get kicked out real quick. Okay, he's going to get kicked out real quick. Juju going to UGA would not benefit him moving forward. I don't think it would benefit anybody. Yep, Zane D'Souza, big 6'6" out of Colorado. He's going to be a big deal. I love Cam Michael. I really do. I was sad to see him get hurt and banged up this year because I can only imagine what he would do. Very similar to Draylon. Obviously, I think he's faster than Draylon is. So that just tells you something right there because of the type of playmaker that Draylon is and how they've been using him, to think if they did that with Cam Michael, what that would have become. But we get to look forward to that next year. Missing a tight end. We've got a couple tight ends coming. Don't worry. We got a couple. Corbin, Zane D'Souza. We've got the tight ends. They're coming. People don't understand the fastest wide receiver outside of Jimmy is Cam Michael. Yep, he is, if not as fast, faster, just, a little slower. Carroll would start next year. Gooden would have a chance too. I agree. I think we could recruit a very young offensive line and go with it. And then that group, guys, is going to mesh together for 3 years. Just think about that. Okay. Julian Lewis under center, Cash as the center. Jordan, Carroll, Chauncey Gooden. We'll figure out the right tackle if it's Cardi or if it's somebody else, if it's Houston staying there. Like, just think of that. We could have a development of 3 years of just having great line play to where Juju's sophomore or junior year, we have one of the best offensive lines in the country, similar to what you see from Georgia, similar to what you see from Bama. I'm telling you guys, it's right there. Okay. Troy, I think that's what's going to happen. I do. I think we're going to get a starting safety from there. Yeah, Byron Baldwin. I don't think he's coming. Here's what I think happened. If you guys remember back after Byron and Branch came to visit, Coach Respris put up 2 bat signals for 2 commits. He posted the times. One of those times was Branch Jr. committing. The other one came and went. Nothing happened. I think that was Byron Baldwin. Everybody pretty much assumed it was. I believe what happened was he got contacted by Indiana. They upped the money a little bit, the offer, what was going to happen, talked to him about that. I think he got a little bit of cold feet with Colorado, and I think he is trending more back to Indiana because of that. And I think Colorado just said, you know what? If you want to go to Indiana, go to Indiana. If you want to come here, go here. But, we're going to move on and not really be, chatting about this. Just let us know if you want to commit or not. According to PFF, since week 7, CU's O-line is ranked in top 5 in the FBS in least sacks and pressures allowed. They have been eating. They have been eating more and more as each week goes on. But I'm not just talking about pass, because that is pass blocking. I'm talking about both. Okay, both running and pass blocking. I agree that we are so much better, but I think we can be even better than that. Fun facts. SEC is the worst conference for NFL quarterbacks. Big 12, Mountain West have more success at quarterbacks at the next level. That's true. I strongly believe once Juju officially commits, the Belgian Malinois will begin to migrate to Boulder. The coaching is incredible. We need a tight end coach. That could be something that comes. Yep. Bartolone, I think he's a great receivers coach. I'd rather have him at receivers, but and we still have, we can't forget Cordell Russell. We've got the depth, guys. We've got a lot of players still ready in the chamber. Let's see. Cardi with a year under his belt with the strength coach, gonna have him ready. Yep, we'll be the next Texas OU. That's happening right now, guys. We just got word from Rick George that it looks like, or some people, and I don't remember where I saw it. It's looking like we're going to have up to about $20 million in NIL ready to go. And I think that is because they are putting out the message that, hey, look at this conference. We are set to dominate it if you guys buy in. And I think we're getting that buy-in right now. Yep. Indiana dropped that bag. There he is. There's David. Don't forget, guys, 7 o'clock tonight. Me and David talk Buffs. We'll preview the Utah game. We'll chat about the recruiting together. So make sure you come back 7 p.m. That is roughly 2 hours away, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Don't you forget. And, of course, hey, follow what he says. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're growing, okay? We added 100 subscribers last week. Let's keep this going. Okay, I need to catch up to David. He's already over 10,000 subscribers this week, absolutely dominating things. I'm going to have to catch up. I got a long way to go. What visits do we have? Are you talking about this weekend, Mike? Let me know. Oh, Omarion is one of my favorite players, period. Omarion is one of my favorite players on this team. I can't wait to see what he does. What visits do we have coming up? Oh, okay. That's what we talked about a little earlier. But this weekend, we already have confirmed Nathaniel Owosu Boateng is back. London Merritt is back. The big one that came out is Michael Carroll, the number 1 5-star inside offensive lineman, will be in Boulder this weekend visiting Colorado. That is a massive, massive get. Now, as far as other visitors, we also know Alexander McPherson, the defensive lineman from IMG, is also going to be in the building. So we've got 4 IMG players all going to be on campus this weekend. So I think it's going to be a very, very big recruiting weekend for Colorado. I wish they never moved. Yeah, he's one of the best recruiters. Got Mikel Miller. LaMason Waller had 5 crystal balls to see and committed elsewhere. Yeah, that's a tough one, David. Laughing. I mean, you did 10,000 subs, man. 10,000 subs. Bro, you can catch up really fast. All you have to do is be a guest on other people's podcasts. Get your name out there. I do from time to time. I've offered on others too, but right now David's the only one that's taken me up, and we're now regulars on each other's show, and it's a lot of fun. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's growing kind of organically. which tells me a lot. It shows a lot about that. So we'll see what happens. If you guys are in other people's chats, feel free to let them know, hey, you should get Buffs News Weekly to come on your show. That's another way to show people that you're actually interested in that, and that it would actually, do well for them watching wise if they have me on the show. Yes, Troy, we do need a new Ralphie. We definitely need a new Ralphie. I think Merritt and Owosu want to play for Prime. Juju is the domino that has to fall first. I think that Boateng really loves Michigan, but I think the ability to play with Julian Lewis on the offensive side of the ball, the struggles that Michigan has had this year, who Coach Prime is, I think they can sway him back. And the fact that he is on campus today, out of nowhere, tells me we're in the right direction. I love our Wednesdays. I do too. It's a lot of fun. We get a lot of great back and forth, and we've got some great fans in the comment section. So you guys will be there later on. I honestly see us getting some big experienced SEC talent out of the portal because of our success. Yeah, as Coach Prime said, here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Okay, let me let you in on a little secret. Come in close. Okay, you in close? You in close? Coach Prime and the team are already talking to recruits about entering the portal. Okay, every team does it. It's an unknown secret that's happening that nobody knows how to stop because there really isn't any penalty that the NCAA can do. So the fact is, I guarantee you that Coach Prime and the staff already know a bunch of people that they are looking at in the portal that are potential people that are going to be coming. So don't worry about that. It's going to be good. That's all I'll say. Real quick, forgot Northside, appreciate you so much. Thank you for the cup of coffee today. Really appreciate that and appreciate all of you guys. And here's David coming in with the $1.99. Who loses more recruits, FSU or USC this year? Huh? What do you guys think? What do we think? Do we think FSU or USC loses more recruits? Don't give a damn. It's even. Okay, you think it's going to be even? Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one. If I really think about it, FSU has to lose more. They've already fired half their coaches. You already have recruits getting angry. They've only won one game. USC is still USC. Lincoln Riley is still there. He's going to get some things, even if the team is not doing well. I think it's going to be FSU that loses more. USC just lost an edge rusher today. Yep, I saw that flip. Talking about the IMG linebacker. Who we say? You're saying Boateng. While I get that, and that was said before what just happened today, okay? Boateng was not supposed to be on campus. He is back on campus today, out of nowhere, okay? Tom Lloyd didn't have it. On3 didn't have it. No, we found out simply because people with their feet on campus saw him and posted it, and then Adam Munstertiger went ahead and ran a story. Okay, USC will lose bigger recruits. Now that could happen. FSU will love more in volume, but not talent. Yep, Lincoln Riley's fall off needs to be studied. I mean, does it though? I mean, if we're really looking at it, I just feel like that Lincoln Riley has been this overhyped coach that hasn't really, brought with him the hype. Okay. Brought with him the actual results. Okay. I feel like him and Dan Lanning were very similar. Dan Lanning is actually following through with some results. Mind you, he hasn't won the national championship yet, but the team is, ranked number 1. They're always in the top 10. Whereas Lincoln Riley just hasn't gotten over that hump, even with the best players. FSU's class going to vanish like Chris Angel. There we go, replica. FSU might only get 2 wins this year. How pathetic with all that talent. Yeah, I mean, you have to honestly try to do that. You have to try to lose, okay? Mike Norvell ain't it. Brady, you get it. I know. Lanning's elite. Lanning is elite. But I still think he's the most punchable face in all of the sports world. Okay, I really do think that he is one of the most punchable faces in the world. Oh, wow, that's great news. He's going to be in Boulder almost a whole week and seem like they're tried to keep in on the hush. That's a step in the right direction. I'm telling you, it's happening. It's happening right now, guys. Okay, it is happening. The Juju stuff dropped with the crystal ball on what happens, all of these recruits start pouring into Boulder. That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. Northside Landing is not elite. Well, I mean, Oregon's #1 in the country, and they thought that they were going to suck in the Big Ten. That's really happened, hasn't it? Looks like they're controlling the Big Ten. But I'm just saying, that's just me. And not to mention, he gets all the recruits. He can recruit. He's winning games. To me, that's pretty elite. Ohio State is going to have a fit if Merritt decommits. He's not going to decommit, okay? He's just going to flip. He's not going to decommit. He's going to announce his commitment to Colorado. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Okay, guys. It is getting late. We're going to be back on here in an hour and a half with Dave for the Buff Blitz here in an hour and a half. Make sure you guys tune back in. Go get yourself dinner. Go get yourself a drink. Get ready to sit back. Let's hang out tonight. Let's have some fun for an hour. Talk about the Utah game and everything about that. See if some recruiting news maybe happens. Who knows? Because this is what Buff fandom is now. Okay? It is sit on your edge of your seat every single day and every single moment. And I cannot appreciate or love the fact that I get to be right here doing it with you guys. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Be back here in an hour and a half for the Buff Blitz. Until next time, Sco Buffs.
Give me my theme music.